It happened again. It happened again. It happens, I swear. This happens all the time. This is what it's like to be a spiritual YouTuber, you guys. And I'm gonna fucking say it. I'm gonna call myself a spiritual YouTuber. I know that it's like, I talk about spiritual shit. I'm into spiritual shit. I believe that we are all of spirit in some way or another. So, that being said, I guess I can consider myself a spiritual YouTuber. I mean, I used to be that guy. I know that because I used to be that guy who like, I'm a spiritual YouTuber. And if you're one of those people that think it's egotistical to call yourself a spiritual YouTuber, then this video is actually for you. What's up, you guys? Keith, your manipulator, here bringing knowledge, information, and a bit of entertainment. I was watching my videos. I was doing some editing earlier, and I realized how fast I talk. I don't mean to talk this fast. I can't keep up sometimes. So I'll try to talk a bit slower. I'm gonna read you guys a comment that I got earlier today on the YouTube channel, and then I'll describe what it's like. I'll give you the breakdown. I'll give you the play-by-play of what it's like to be a spiritual YouTuber. And I promise, please watch to the end of the video because there actually really is a good, useful lesson from this. There's a method to the madness. There's a reason why I'm bringing this up. It's to share something that I just had a revelation of. Not with this comment, but with like the previous 4 or 5 that were like this have all been leading up to this almost solidified thought. So it's not a complete thought yet. I'm still working it out. That's what this video is for, a sort of way to help me reel it in, if you will. Without further ado, they left me a comment and it says, I miss this guy. Wakey wakey, gon' get left behind, homie. You gone soft, LOL. You gone soft, LOL. I said, I miss when people didn't assume to know me because they've watched a few of my videos. Because this is part of what it's like being a spiritual YouTuber. This is all leading to something. They watch a few videos, or 100 videos, and they go, I know that guy. You guys, unless you guys are serious empaths out there, I highly doubt, or some of you who know my date of birth and birth time, there's a couple of you out there. But not many of you guys know me, and I don't know shit about you guys. Like, that's not a bad thing, right? You guys see the lens of Keith, the YouTuber, sharing knowledge, in info and entertainment, right? You see that aspect of me. But there are, not a million, but there's a handful of different aspects of me that vary drastically to this, and some of it you might not like at all or be into at all. And if you hung out with me, you'd be like, Keith's not that cool of a guy, actually. Just kidding, I'm cool as fuck. But no, seriously, there's I'll continue on. I say I'm not one-track minded. As per everything that I just said, I'm not this. Because basically he was pissed that, or he wasn't pissed, but he was making a hella fucking patronizing remark on You Gone Soft. I miss content like this. That's what he's saying. He said, I miss this, referring to the video that he was commenting on. Called Including the Smite on Masculinity, YouTube might not be the key for enlightenment we hoped for. That was the video. He wants me to make more content like that. And I think it's because a few days ago, I released content on the Kundalini, did an interview about Tolkien and the Elf Kingdom and whatnot. And then we got Q Reeves on here, which I didn't feel like was a very soft YouTube video. The fairy one was soft as fuck, don't get me wrong, but I like fairy shit. I don't know what to tell you. Like Lord of the Rings, I have a goddamn Lord of the Rings tattoo on my arm. I'll fucking prove it to you. Check it out. Check it out. Lord of the Rings tattoo right here. It says, what does it say? It says, under no enchantment but my own. Gandalf quote. Boom. So obviously I'm like, masculine shit, flowy, soft, feminine shit. I like all. Of course, I love women, feminine. Like, who doesn't love the soft, feminine shit? Like, I don't know what gamer. Anywho, I digress. And then I said, unfortunately, you turned out to be one of those subscribers that I'm making this video about. And then I left a snarky ass. It looks like you've already been left behind. I try to be smart. I probably could have come up with a better comeback. It was a weak comeback, Keith. It was a weak comeback. I think I was grocery shopping. I'm sorry. If I would have known how to make a video on this, I would have come up with a much cleverer comeback. I fucking should have had a better comeback. Speaking of gone soft, maybe I did go soft. Maybe he's right. My comebacks are weak. Anywho, it sucks that you have that much pride on their perception. It's okay, cause and effect. I didn't read the rest of it. He wrote a bunch of stuff, and then some more stuff. Truth can sound arrogant and cocky, and then I said the irony of it all. The irony of it all, because we'll get to that. This is what it's like being and this is why I said spiritual YouTuber. Because I don't think it works in all the YouTube community. Like the biggest insult you can give someone in the spiritual community is calling them egotistical, saying you have an ego. It's like the big bad wolf of a word in spirituality is to call someone egotistical. And like I've said in my videos before, I don't give a fuck what people have to say about the ego, because most people don't understand what the hell the ego is. I got no qualms with the ego, absolutely, because I understand that the ego is nothing more but a lens in which each individual entity can experience life, right? In whatever shape or form that may come, in which there are thousands, and in which there are an infinite amount of different ways to express oneself. So there's an infinite amount of egos. Imagine a lens. If I take the lens out of this camera and change it to a macro lens, I'm gonna look different through the lens, right? Because you've changed the lens, you've changed the perspective. That's all the ego is. You attach to the lens, that's when all the bad things start happening. But as long as we don't attach to the lens and we know we aren't the lens, but the thing looking through the lens, then we're fine, right? We're fine. Just make that distinction clear. So in other words, you can't insult me with saying I'm egotistical. Second, we can't get to the second part yet because I need to explain something before we get to the second part. This is what this YouTuber, or this is what this subscriber did to me and the previous 4 people. They befriend me online, and then they dig the content, and we're homies. And then I either post a video that they don't agree with, or I don't make, like this guy, I don't make videos like the one, I guess I don't make videos that he likes, like his style of video, which makes me soft. And I either buy into his philosophy, buy into his paradigm, buy into his truth, and if I don't, I'm egotistical. So if he says, hey, and I'm paraphrasing to simplify, because this is important, you guys got to listen to this. It happens in your life. That's why I'm making this video. They say, listen to what I have to say, and if you don't, it's because you have a huge ego. Do what I say, believe what I believe. If you don't, it's because you're egotistical. Alright, so saying this to me, right? So he comes up and says, as a spiritual YouTuber, right? Remember how nasty that word ego is in spirituality. He comes up to me and he says, hey Keith, I don't like what you're doing. And I also don't like that you don't like that which makes you egotistical. And it's the biggest catch, because that means you either conform to what they have to say, or you're a bigot and you're egotistical. And no one wants to be called egotistical, so the assumption is, oh, that's the catch, right? That's the most manipulative part. And I'm not saying these people know that they're doing it, but I fucking for sure I'm saying that they know that they're doing it. They have a way of trying to force the world to their will, right? Which is something that must be done in order to create. But some people will do it against other people's will. or do it in a way that manipulates, that's fucking sideways as hell. I guess why that's important is because, and here's the meaning of it all. Here's what I want you guys to get out of this, is that we get tarot readings and we see our therapists and we have our heart-to-hearts with the homies and we read all these fucking Instagram posts and quotes and shit, and they all say the same thing. Believe in yourself, fucking trust yourself, be confident in yourself, your thoughts, your decisions, your actions, be thorough, be persistent, and fucking pursue happiness, pursue truth, in whatever way fits for you the most, whatever feels the fucking best, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. As long as you're not, as long as you're not forcing people to do things that they don't want to do, right? As long as you're making the world a better place, then fucking go for it. However that looks in your head, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And I fucking believe that. And I wish, and it took me forever to realize this, to have that sort of conviction in my actions, and that sort of belief in myself, that it's like, no, I have, and even if I'm wrong, I'm still gonna see this fucking out, because of all my experiences, with all my enlightenment, with all my upbringing, with all my lessons I've learned, this is the best fucking choice I can make. And if it's wrong, then so fucking be it. I went out doing it. Like doing the things that I love and doing it how I wanted it to be done, and seeing the world reflect that back to me, so that it doesn't only exist in my heart, but it exists in the world too, right? So we believe that, and that's how we should be going through life. And then you have someone like this subscriber of mine on the channel. They say, no, I understand that you want to do things a certain way. I got everything you just said right now, Keith, sounds beautiful. It sounds perfect. It's all nice and frilly. Like, put some inspirational music behind that and you'll have a hit. That's great. However, I don't really like how you're doing it anymore. Like, the way you did this particular video, it was nice. I missed this. Keith, I missed this. But you're not doing this anymore. You're sleeping. Wakey, wakey. Don't get caught sleeping. You're going to get left behind, or whatever the hell the comment said. Like, it's like, so I either drop my confidence in myself and my philosophy on how I want to pursue my life. I drop that, because if I don't, I'm egotistical. And Keith doesn't want to be egotistical because he's a spiritual YouTuber, right? And spiritual people don't, they don't have an ego. They bend over to everything. And here's the irony, when I said here's the irony in what you just told me, is that video was talking about toxic masculinity, and I was defending masculinity, saying that they were labeling masculinity as toxic and unnecessarily, but I could have been wrong, because in the comment section there was a perfect form of toxic masculinity right fucking there in the video that I was trying to defend. Coming in and trying to strong arm someone against their will to conform to what you want, because you are so narrow-minded in your view that anything that operates outside of that must be wrong. And that's what he's saying. He's saying, it's not my way. My way is right. Your way is wrong. The way I do things and the way I want things to be done is right. And the way you are doing it is wrong. Manipulation. By the way, if you don't agree with me, it's because you're egotistical. So, agree with me. Like, that's some manipulative backhand shit. But it's toxic as fuck, period. Whatever you decide to be. It's probably a combination of all sorts of things, as most things are. But, alright, so let me wrap this up. People are going to come in and try to force you to view the world through their lens. They're going to be convinced that the way they do things, and they're going to be convinced that their truth should be your truth. And sometimes, if you tell them no, especially if you're not nice about it and you're not super passive about it, but if you tell them no, and the sterner you are, generally speaking, the more violent their reaction will be. Whether it's, or not violent, but the more energetic their reaction is going to be, right? right? Because they're not used to that sort of thing. They're used to people rolling over for them. Usually people with dominant personalities will act this way. We'll try to, well, you have to have a dominant personality to try to bend someone's will. You know what I mean? Anywho, don't let it happen. Like, see that. Because the way things don't always show up in the world as they're portrayed. Things aren't always as obvious as the movies make them seem. They're not as obvious as your favorite books will make them seem. Sometimes they're super insidious and they're really unconsciously done. Sometimes the person doing them doesn't even know they're doing them. That's how, like, covert they can be. So when they say believe in yourself no matter what, that fucking means believe in yourself no matter what. Your truth is write it down. You know, first of all, find your truth. What makes you happiest? Well, I don't know what makes me happiest. I like a bunch of things. Well, pick one of them and pick two of them and run with it, right? If you pick two of your most favorite things and you put all of your heart and soul into them, I guarantee you that will be more than enough work to satisfy 85% of the souls on this planet. We'll be happy enough pursuing just two of their happiest things to the full degree. And do it. And when people come along and say you're doing it wrong, say fuck you. And if they say, too bad you have such an ego. Too bad you have such an ego and you don't want to do things my way, which is fucking ironic because that's... anywho. Can't beat a dead horse at this point. Believe in yourselves, you guys. Please believe in yourselves. Don't listen to people online. Like, your parents or your best friends or your lovers, your close business partners, like, of course, take what they have, like, with a grain of salt. Like, listen to what people have to say. Don't be an idiot. But when it comes to people online who only know you through a video, or not even that, some people will talk shit to you from a chat room, never having met you in the first place. And it's like, we put way too much fucking emphasis on people that mean nothing. Like, they mean nothing. Sometimes they mean even worse than nothing, because nothing is neutral. Sometimes they mean negative. They mean to put you backwards, and that's even worse than meaning nothing. Like, we don't want shit like that. So transmute, like we always talk about. If someone's throwing shade at you, fucking grow some shade loving plants. There's some plants out there that love shade. They actually thrive in shade. They prefer it. They usually, like the big beautiful elephant ears, usually plants that grow in the shade, because they don't get much sun, they grow massive leaves. So shade loving plants, in other words, are cool as fuck. So if someone's throwing shade at you, throw up a plant. The big elephant ears are dope. They're easy to care for, they grow really fast, and they look like elephant ears, like dark ass striped emerald green elephant ears. They're cool as fuck. That being said, yeah, someone's coming in hot, tell them to fuck off. And if someone's throwing shade, plant some trees. I hope this was helpful to some of you guys. It was helpful for me. Anywho, zip it up and zip it out.